State Podcast.
What it do? Mobbing with the crew, nothing new. I thought you
General manager of the New York Knicks, Scott Perry, earned himself a 2-year extension. Thoughts about it?
Don't care.
Really?
I don't.
I feel like he earned that.
I don't know what he's done. Honestly, I don't know what he's done. The whole Steve Mills era, how much of that can we put on Scott Perry? How much can we put on Steve Mills? And then
since Steve Mills been gone, it's been nothing but success.
And but can we say that's Scott Perry, or can we say that's all the other additions that we've added to the front office? And
well, the fact that he's getting a 2-year extension proves that he had something to do with it.
I think that it's more of a consistency. You know, like how the Knicks kept playing certain lineups all throughout the year because being consistent, it works. I think Scott Perry does offer something valuable. I do. I don't think that Scott Perry is just getting picked up just because of the consistency. He's not the Elfrid Payton of the Knicks front office. I don't care. I think that he earned it. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah. I think that it makes sense to bring him back for 2 years. But outside of that, I don't really have much to say about it. Like if he'd have left, I'd have been good. They brought him back. I'm good. I don't care.
Questionable move that Scott Perry has made in the last year was signing Elfrid Payton. Every other free agent signing it made sense. Even Austin Rivers, you see what he did on another team, it made sense. He's talented. You want to see what he can bring to this team, and they didn't expect quickly to show out like he did this year. And when they brought Derrick Rose in, it just took away Austin Rivers' spot. But Austin Rivers was hooping on other teams, and he had games where he was hooping for us too. Reggie Bullock had key moments throughout the year. Nerlens Noel stepped up and became the starting center, and it didn't slow the team down one bit. That's all because of Scott Perry. I feel like he's a GM, so I'm giving him the credit. The 2 draft picks, the Obi Toppin, even though there's other players that we probably could have drafted in place of Obi Toppin, we still see signs from Obi Toppin to show that he's going to be able to provide for us something positively. He's a rotational player in the playoffs, and he looked like one of the best rotational pieces during the playoffs. So it's too early to just, you know what I'm saying? The jury's still out. But Emmanuel Quickly, steal of the draft.
I just don't know. Like, yes, I think that was Scott Perry's pick. But in totality, the way that I understand the way that this front office works, Scott Perry doesn't have final say. I think that we can say that
we knew that before too.
I think that we could, all the roses that we're giving Scott Perry, I think we need to pull up rose from that and give one to Walt Perrin, give one to Brock Aller. We need to give a few of them to Leon Rose.
It's working.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a part of the system, and I think that we can give him the credit for that. But if he was no longer part of the system because Leon Rose decided that, okay, there's another guy that I trust more for the same kind of role, I would have been good with it. There's not, outside of a pick, I don't know how much credit I want to give him. So that's where I'm going to leave it.
He's getting credit from me.
He gets a little. Just not all. I'm not gonna make it seem like our success is wholly due to him. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna give him like a 10% credit. I think Brock Aller had a lot of input into certain things, and some of our moves last year were definitely Brock Aller moves, and they helped.
Yeah, but
they helped us.
Julius Randle's on his team because of Scott Perry.
Okay.
R.J. Barrett's on his team because of Scott Perry.
I don't know if I would go that far. I think R.J. Barrett would be on this team regardless because he was the pick.
Don't do that. You know our history. Don't do that. We've always struggled in the draft, even if there's an obvious pick. we don't always make the obvious pick.
We don't always make the obvious pick, but who else would you pick? If you don't pick R.J. Barrett, you probably get fired. Like, I don't care. Like, any other GM in the league is making that pick. Like, you don't get credit for picking R.J. Barrett when the other consensus top 3 picks were already picked before him. It's a no-brainer. You have to pick R.J. at that point. So I don't give him that credit.
All I'm saying is I'm not going to not give you credit for making the right pick. So he's the GM. These are all the things that happened in his tenure here. We can say, oh, he got help from him, and him. It's an obvious pick. But these are all a collection of good moves that led to this team being the 4th seed.
So who fired?
I'm not going to ignore that.
Who hired David Fizdale?
Mills. Everything bad happened because of
Mills. Oh, everything bad that happened because of Steve Mills. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Because you see, ain't nothing bad happened since he been gone.
I could say nothing bad happened since we hired Leon Rose. And that's who I would give most of the roses to at this point. Because some bad shit definitely happened when Scott Perry was there. Whether you want to say, like,
as a direct influence of Scott Perry?
We don't know. We don't know how much of it was Scott Perry. We don't know how much of it is Steve Mills.
That's why you got to just list it.
If you can't say, oh, especially when we know for a fact that since Leon Rose has been, in charge, he hasn't been saying, yo, Scott Perry, you make the choice. We know that for a fact. Whereas we don't know whether Steve Mills said that when he was in charge or not. But if he did, it's a very big indictment on Scott Perry. And if he didn't, I don't think you can clearly say everything bad that happened was because of Steve Mills. Scott Perry doesn't have like a spotless record before the Knicks either. So,
but no GM does.
Exactly.
Every GM makes mistakes and they have bad picks that they could have drafted a star instead of. But
exactly,
as long as you make enough of the right moves and the right picks and right trades. Like, think about all the trades that happened last year in the draft. Scott Perry was the GM. So I'm giving him the credit because
all I'm saying
these things were executed in his tenure as the Knicks.
All I'm saying is to say ain't nothing bad happened since Steve Mills was fired. That doesn't mean that Scott Perry should get all of the roses. I think we should give all of the roses.
All of them.
I think we should give all of the roses to Leon Rose, and then if he wants to dole them out, which he's this is him giving roses to Scott Perry for his contribution.
Exactly.
Leon Rose I trust. Scott Perry can come and go. I think that if Scott Perry goes, Leon Rose will put somebody who's just as capable or more capable in his spot. That's how
he had the opportunity to.
He did. He didn't want to, and that says a lot about
exactly
Scott Perry.
My point.
That says a lot about Scott Perry. But like I said, I don't care that much because I trust Leon Rose. I don't necessarily trust Scott Perry because I know that every single one of his decisions, he has no agency on whether it gets done or not. Leon Rose has the agency, which is how I prefer it. I prefer Leon Rose to have the agency as opposed to Scott Perry.